we win that, and then once we do that, he told me he wants Benavidez to come up to Cruiserweight and we fight Benavidez. If that's the course, let's fucking do it.
David Benavidez? Well, I mean, I can't really say that I anticipated that one on the bingo cards, but I mean, why not? You know, I mean, he's been talking about fighting two guys from essentially every division, you know, Zurdo Ramirez and Badou Jack, who are fellow cruiserweights, Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua, who are heavyweights, and even talked about fighting Dimitri Bivol. So why not throw another light heavyweight in there in David Benavidez? But first, we have to take care of Huseyin Cinkara.
Who? Hello guys, this is Rolly Romero.
Yo, my name is Nonito Donaire. What's up guys, Designer's Eyes.
We're here with Bob Santos Boxing.
And I rock with Dr. Boxing Talk.
I want to give a quick shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk.
And I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk. Thank you for all the love, thank you for all the support.
You're rocking with Dr. Boxing Talk. Get your daily news from my man right here, the best in the business. Let's get it, baby.
All day, baby.
Amen.
Bam!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you'll say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? Welcome back to your favorite boxing news channel, Dr. Boxing Talk. We are back for another YouTube video. Banger, man. Yes, sir. Yes, man. I don't know what time it is. Doctor's in the house, man. So check this out. But before we get to it, let's go ahead and smack that like button. Let's do it together. Appreciate you. That helps us keep going and growing on this YouTube platform. BTF, rise up. And let's get it, man. Early this morning while you're yawning, you know, I be up, you know what I'm saying? Up early and up late. You feel me? That's how we do it around here. But I was watching this interview with Jai Opetaia, and he was talking about potential fights. And of course, he wants the cruiserweight unifications eventually to get to undisputed, which I love. You feel me? But it is kind of annoying that it's always about this guy not fighting you, this guy not fighting you, that guy not fighting you. And then you come and you fight Huseyin Cinkara.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
Now, I'm not mad at Huseyin Cinkara. This is mandatory. I actually appreciate this fight because I respect mandatories. You see what I'm saying? Just like Zurdo Ramirez had to fight his WBA mandatory, Junior Dorticos. Now, Huseyin Cinkara, who's the IBF mandatory, gets his shot at the Jai Opetaia, who's the IBF champion, right? So I'm not mad at it. However, you know, I just think that we're talking about other guys that are more like dreams. But I respect Jai Opetaia because if you listen, he said this.
Turkey LSH, and Dr. Rakan, they have told me that they want these fights to happen. We're getting closer. You know, there's a game plan now. We're not just chasing the fight. There's an actual plan now.
So it seems like there's a plan, and I love it that there's a plan, and it finally seems like it's going to be implemented. You know, the implementation of this plan to get Jai Opetaia this undisputed matchup between, you know, a unified matchup between him and Badou Jack, assuming Badou Jack beats Noel McCallan, or him versus Zurdo Ramirez. You see what I'm saying? I love it because I think those are great matchups. And me personally, I think that Zurdo versus Jai Opetaia is one of the best fights in all of boxing, not just the cruiserweight division, you know. But things have to move accordingly and people have to handle their business, you know. Badou Jack has to handle his business with his mandatory rematch, you know, since the WBC ordered it for whatever reason against Noel McCallan. And then Jai Opetaia has to handle his mandatory against Huseyin Cinkara, you know, who was supposed to fight earlier, but he had an injury. That's why we had Opetaia versus David Benavidez, you know what I'm saying? And then now Zurdo, once he has his, I think he has some type of injury that he has healing, and I believe he had to have some type of surgery, you know, but he just came off of winning his mandatory defense against Junior Dorticos for the WBA. So I'm not mad at this. And then also, you know, with the potential fight against David Benavidez and Jai Opetaia, that's a great fight as well, but we have to see how David Benavidez does against Anthony Yard, you know. And so all these little division swapping and division mixing, I'm cool with it, but at the same time I would rather keep the first things first and priority, and that would be to get undisputed at cruiserweight division, you know what I'm saying, whether it's Jai Opetaia, Badou Jack, or Zurdo Ramirez. And I have to applaud Jai Opetaia for prioritizing that as well. He said, hey man, you know, there's some other fights that we could see, maybe David Benavidez down the line, which is a very intriguing matchup, or even Dimitri Bivol, or even a heavyweight stint, you know, those are great, but he wants to be great in his division first, and I gotta love that, you know what I'm saying. I think we should all love that, you know, and I think that he could do it. But, you know, I don't think it's a given either. I know a lot of people look at him as the best at cruiserweight division, rightfully so. But, you know, there's also Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. I think he's also a top guy. I think it's between those two. Those two, I don't know who's going to win, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people lead towards Zurdo. A lot of people lead towards Opetaia. I think that's a very good matchup. That's the matchup I want to see. But I will also give Badou Jack a chance as well. You know, he's an older statesman. But I do think that Against Badou Jack, I would pick Opetaia over Jack, and I would pick Zurdo over Jack as well. To me, the real 50-50 toss-up matchup is between Zurdo and Jai. So we'll see how that goes, man. If Jai Opetaia could get undisputed and then potentially go up to heavyweight, I think that's the best case. That's the best course of action. But if Turkey wants to see Benavidez versus Jai Opetaia, because I think Benavidez could eventually go up to cruiserweight as well successfully, you know, I love that fight as well. But I want to keep the main thing, and I'd rather see Benavidez, assuming he beats Yard, against Dimitri Bivol or Artur Beterbiev. You see, I would actually prioritize the Beterbiev and Bivol trilogy to come to a close. I'd rather them fight first, and then Benavidez get the winner or the loser of that. I think that's still a great fight. So, you know, before we move on to Jai Opetaia versus a light heavyweight, or Jai Opetaia versus a heavyweight, or Benavidez versus a cruiserweight, or Benavidez versus a heavyweight, I'd rather see them dominate in their divisions respectfully, and then, you know what I'm saying, move on to a higher division or a lower division in Jai Opetaia's case. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Don't forget to smack that like button. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we are nothing. What do you want to see, though? Let me know in the comments. Do you want to see Jai Opetaia, assuming he beats Huseyin Cinkara? Would you rather see him against Badou Jack next, Zurdo Ramirez next, or David Benavidez next? Me personally, like I said, I prioritize establishing an undisputed champion at cruiserweight, so I would prefer either Badou Jack or Zurdo, and it's also promising that him and Badou Jack have had some type of communication personally, that Jai Opetaia said in that interview, man. So y'all be easy, take care of yourselves. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Peace. The doctor's out. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.